TikTokers listen to me.
Yeah, like I'm all about Instagram.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Gym Crashers with me, Joey the Bull, Adam Woods, Dondo, and our special guest, Gabriel Suavecito Martinez.
Suavecito in the house.
What's good, party people? Great to have you back again for another illustrious week in Gym Crashers. Joey the Bull is fresh off his birthday.
Yeah, that's right.
Hell
The
yeah.
birthday.
Yeah.
Thank
man.
you.
Congrats.
Right?
Yeah, so
Big-
we miss you, but
A lot of drinking, a lot of doing things in the bed I shouldn't be doing.
there you go, man. Everybody likes.
So
their
sorry for
share
that
of
bed.
Rocky Mountain oysters, like the rest.
I think he blew the springs out.
Yeah. So some Bulls balls were getting roasted. And,
Yeah.
Bull's
yes,
balls.
We'd be remiss not to talk about our guest in studio, one Gabriel Martinez, El Suavecito from the Training Lab,
Yes, sir.
fresh off his win at Sparstar Fight Night 45 at the Commerce Casino.
It's a big one.
Yeah, it's pretty.
So, how you feeling, brother?
I feel good. I feel real good. I'm in a good place right now, and yeah, that was a pretty intense fight, man. It was quick. It was about 40 seconds or
It was
44
legit,
seconds,
bro.
but
Legit.
Yeah, a lot happened within those couple of seconds, man. That kid came out swinging, so
It seemed like a hell of a lot longer, right? In the
it
moment.
felt like it. Hell yeah, it
I
did.
loved it, though.
It was intense. I mean, even before the fight happened, it was pretty intense. Like being up in the back and
Yeah.
just seeing everyone getting ready for like war almost, man. And
Yeah.
so it was pretty cool. It's always a good experience being at Sparstar too, man.
Hell
you know how
yeah.
to take care of you. The cut man tapes you up. You know what I mean? Like I've heard like stories about people training up in like the middle of nowhere, up in a tent, and like getting like wrapping up their hands. Fucking, my buddy told me he was at a fight and some dude was drinking Coca-Cola before the fight. Like the Sparstar, they take care of you, man. It almost feels like it'll prepare you for a professional fight.
It's as real as it gets. Tony Padilla puts on a top-notch
Yeah.
promotion. Michael Gross running that thing, running around the building, making sure the fighters are prepped and ready.
Shout
We're
out
always
to
in the
Michael
background.
Gross, man.
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah,
the
Michael
homies.
Gross. that's the homie.
His birthday. So happy
Right?
birthday.
Is it today?
It was the 30th?
He's probably in Mexico as we speak, if I know that
Yeah,
guy.
he was in Mexico. So, yeah, it was October 20th, which is 2 days ago.
2 days. Happy birthday,
Happy
brother.
birthday, Mr. Gross.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he keeps his sock game on point. I don't know if you guys follow him on Instagram.
Hell yeah,
His
we do.
socks. Yeah,
Hell
that
yeah,
guy's
we
always
follow.
got some crazy socks going on, huh?
Yeah,
Cool dude.
man.
Right?
Yeah.
Combate,
Combate.
Barstar, just doing his thing. He's the real
Yeah.
deal.
Or even?
Bellator.
Yeah, Bellator too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Those are good people to have in your corner, man. Like good people to be around. So hopefully-
Agreed. That's why we're partners with those guys. We love that crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so I mean, we talked a bit after your victory.
Uh-huh.
It was pretty intense. I got choked up. You got choked up. Should we get into it now, or do you want to?
Yeah, no, let's
Let's
dive
make it
in.
about Gabriel
we're
right
all
now.
in.
Come
We're
on.
all in.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's
He's
go for it.
here.
What's up?
Yeah. So obviously, I mean, from the first time that I saw you in the Sparstar cage to this past time at Sparstar 45,
Uh-huh.
you went through a tumultuous like series of, I mean, damn I say it, it's like
Yeah.
a lemony snicket, a series
Yeah.
of unfortunate events that
Yeah.
happened. So I mean, let's kind of get into it, brother.
Yeah, so I lost my grandma back in December, and I mean I still had a fight lined up against that kid Jerry, who I still fought, and I interviewed with you, and I was in a good place at that time too, and like I felt like everything was like gonna go up and going, and then a couple months after that, Ray Lopez, who was my manager at the time, had passed away, and that was a tough loss, like not just for me as a fighter, because he is someone that like. I mean, I didn't talk to him on a daily basis, but he was someone that's bringing me on a path, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like we were on a journey together. And so for him passing away, like, it hurt me because I wanted to see us as a family do well, you know? And I wanted to eventually be able to help him provide for his family. And, you know, that's like the whole goal as a fighter. You want to make sure that the people you're around are taken care of. So losing him was tough. And then a couple months after that, my mom's ex-boyfriend, his name's Jorge, he passed away in a car. He was in a car accident. He was involved in a car accident, got stitched up, and the next day they had found him dead in his house. And he was a good guy, man. He raised me like my dad. Like my parents got divorced when I was young, and when he was dating my mom, like he put a roof over our head, and he did a lot for us, man. So like I'm thankful for him. I wish when I was a kid I appreciated him as much as I do now, you know.
Right.
Back then he was like the bad guy.
Right, absolutely.
He was a super cool dude, man. And the day after he had passed, I found out that he had passed away. I got in a little fender bender in this car that I drive now because I got it fixed. But after I got in that fender bender, I started driving a Kia Optima, which was my sister's, and it was handed down to me. And almost the whole week having that car, man, I was all excited about it. It's a new whip, right? And so like I was looking forward to it. I was already getting ready to get it detailed.
Damn.
I'm already thinking about what kind of tint I was gonna get up on the thing and like put new rims on it. And then I went to go see my friend Laura's fights at the OC hangar.
Yeah.
And started like it was just crazy, man. Like we were leaving the event and everything was okay. I was with my friend Lala, and well, her name's Veronica. We call her Lala. So
Sup, Lala?
yeah, what's up, Lala? She's super cool, man. Like it was just weird. Like we were driving on the freeway and like it started making some kind of noise. Like it sounded like I was on the freeway riding over the bumps. You know the little bumps that are
the
on.
little turtles.
Yeah. So I thought the tire was over those, and I kind of I moved a little bit to the right to see like if there was anything going on, and nothing, man. It's like the noise was still there. So I pulled over. I got off the freeway, got back in. I got into a gas station. I looked under the tires. There was nothing under the tires. There weren't any like
I
signals.
thought you were gonna say there's a dead body under there.
A raccoon or something. I checked the tires. The tires were okay. I checked the oil. The oil was fine. Like there wasn't any check engine light or anything going on. I just figured, oh, okay, well we'll just hop back on and try to get home safely. And like she's real religious, man, and she was like, let's pray real quick. And at first I kind of chuckled at it, like, come on, dude, like we're gonna pray. But all right, so I prayed. And I was like, I told God, hope we get home safe. And sure enough, man, I got back onto the freeway and I was trying to catch up to the speed of traffic, but my car wasn't going past 40 miles per hour. And so I was like, shoot. Luckily, as soon as we got onto the ramp, like getting onto the freeway, and there was like an exit that said Huntington Beach. So I told her, I said, Lala, it looks like I'm going to have to turn on the hazard lights and I'm going to push it. I'll put it in neutral and I'll push it. And so the car came to a complete stop. I put the hazard lights on. I was getting ready to put the car in neutral. And this lady rolled up on me and she said, your car's on fire.
Holy
So
moly.
I was like, what the heck? And she said, Gabriel, get out. And she like hopped out real quick. And I reached for my phone and I got out. And my phone fell. So I almost got hit by a car reaching for my phone, trying to get out of it. And I put the car in park before I got out, which was like probably the best thing I could have done. And I ran around the car and I hopped over a wall, and like merely seconds over, I hopped over that wall. Like a car rear-ended it, and so like my car was like in flames, man, and like it was just a trip.
That's the trip. The person didn't see the flames and ran into it.
Yeah.
It's not like it wasn't lit
I don't
up.
know, man. Maybe he was texting or something. I
Right?
don't know. But from what I'm just glad that person's okay too.
Yeah, for real.
Most
for real.
definitely. And it was a
Such a
trip.
good
So
heart.
his story was that a car went around mine, and he was just so close to the car behind him that like he was trying to get out of the way, but it was just too late.
Dang it.
Yeah, I remember like as soon as I saw that accident happen, like before my eyes, like I was like, damn, like I'm gonna go to jail. Like I was scared, and I was just like, I was happy I was alive, but I was scared for that other person.
Right, absolutely.
As soon as the firefighters came in, like they were telling me that I should buy a lottery ticket because I was like lucky to be alive, and so
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder what it was. Do you know?
w-
Catalytic converter or something exploded?
no, I'm not too sure. I know that we were looking it up on Google, and I know like for that model, like a couple years ago, there was a recall on the gas line.
Had to be it then.
Yeah, so like we're still figuring everything out with that, but I mean, I'm sure it'll get fixed. Like other insurance companies reaching out to me. My mom reached out to Kia Motors, and so
The hell.
yeah, man, it's been a trip.
That's heavy, man.
It's been a trip, man. Honestly, like after that, I've been like surrounded by good people like Monica Calavita, Sam Calavita,
Yeah.
Mark Munoz, who like we all know is a great guy, and like they've just been there like to support me, and like they've helped me like come up from this,
Wow.
Yeah, because even it was weird, man. After Ray had passed away, I was just kind of like in a rut. I was just in a bad place in my life and like I felt like I was never gonna get out of it. And then I remember like that car accident thing happened. I was like, damn, like this is like something's after me, man. I might die young or something. But I was in a bad place just because like after Ray had passed away, like I almost gave up fighting, and everyone was telling me, quit fighting. You need to do that. Like you have a good head on your shoulders. You're a good kid, and I felt like that was like that was it. Once Ray passed away, I felt like I didn't have anything else. Like I didn't have anything lined, and so Spar Star was reaching out to me, trying to get me on a card, and it just didn't seem right at the time. And so I'm glad I waited it out. Eventually, I stuck to training, and like I said, I'm around good people. Like they've all been there for me, and I after a couple months after my car accident, like Heather reached out to me and she like told me about a fight with this kid named Brandon from a really good school, CSW.
Yeah.
Yeah, really
Shout
good
out to
school,
Heather.
man. Shout out
Right?
to Heather. Yeah, she got me that fight, and like I felt like a fight like that with a guy from a school like that, like
It's good, right?
yeah, it looks really good.
It does.
I think it looks good on
The
me.
Ben Jones crew. Come
yeah.
on.
Plus, it's only Brandon Art. Yeah, he's a good kid, man, and I wish him the best. I think he's gonna be fighting again in November.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah, big ups to him, man. Like anyone that gets in the ring with me, man, like I'll give it to him. You know what I mean? Like I'll tip my hat off to them because it takes guts, dude.
Yeah.
And especially someone like me, dude. Not that I'm like hot shit or anything, but like I'm there to bang, and he could have CSW, man. That's catch wrestling, right? So
Yeah, damn right
he
it
could have
is.
shot a double from the get go if he
Yeah.
really wanted to, and like I could have been in a tough spot. But thankfully, I've been working on my wrestling for over a year now with Juan and Mark Munoz and TJ. So
That's a pretty legit wrestling crew right there, right?
yeah,
Come on.
yeah, man. So I was ready for anything, but that kid came in to put on a show. Even when we weighed in, like we had to stare down. He said, "Let's put on a good show," and so like that energy was there. Like we both knew that we were there to bang.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and so it was cool, man. Hats off to that kid.
Right on. That's
No,
a good way to
absolutely.
be.
And, I mean, that type of mentality. You're like, oh well, they're catch wrestlers and what have you. Well, I mean, we've had both Coach Roybal and Ben Jones on
Yeah.
the show, and Ben Jones. I mean, that's kind of his mentality. It's like not only are we going to beat you, but we're going to beat you at your own game.
Yeah.
That's and for you to get a win out of a CSW guy,
Yeah.
in this decisive fashion, that's, I mean, all the testament to you, man.
Thank you.
That's incredible. I mean, that's one of those like feather in the cap moments that should stay with you the rest of your career.
Yeah, I like. Prior to joining the training lab, I was looking like Coach John Santa Maria, my jiu-jitsu coach, a great
Shout out
guy.
to John.
He's over at Dog Pound MMA in Norwalk. He was telling me I needed to get on a fight team, and so like I was looking around, like I was thinking about going to Oyama's, I was thinking about trying out for CSW, CMMA, like all these
Yeah.
like prestigious gyms, man. Like
Yep, those are the hot spots.
yeah, but he got me lined up with Mark Munoz, and Mark Munoz has been like almost like a father figure, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, he just put me on. But prior to that, I was gonna try to get into CSW, and so
Really?
yeah, that would have been weird, huh? Like
Yeah.
I told him too after the fight, like I wanted to join you guys at one point, and so
Wow.
yeah, I have nothing but respect for those guys.
Yeah.
I like that a lot of those guys that train at that gym, they're about my age.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we're the next generation of fighters,
Yeah.
and so it's cool seeing them, and I think it'll be like a fun little rivalry for the years to come, like at some point in line, like when we're all on the big stage, like those are guys that I'm gonna know about and they're gonna know about me, you know.
Absolutely.
I think the only amateurs we have at the training lab right now is my friend Jonathan Kircher and I. So everyone else they're all pro fighters, which
Getting there.
yeah, man, we're like, I don't know what my next move is. I don't know if I'm gonna go pro. I don't know if I'm gonna do another amateur. Like, I'm still in talks with my coaches and see what's up with Tony. See if he like has anything lined
Yeah.
up for me. If he could help me out. But originally from the get go when I started like MMA, we had it planned out. We're gonna do 3 amateurs, and then from there we're gonna go pro. So I got my 3 in. I lost my first one,
Right.
which I'm glad I did because that was like a life-changing experience too. I feel like everything good in my life has come out of a bad situation,
Of course,
and it's kind of like weird because my first loss was my first fight, and it was against I don't even know the kid's name, man, but he was a cool dude too, and like, I had no wrestling experience. I just kind of like he took me down to the ground and he held me there, and so he won by the decision.
Wow.
Yeah, he got the decision victory, and it is what it is, man. I took it on the chin, and after that, I had left the kickboxing gym that I was training at, and that's when I just got put on with Mark Munoz. So I was like, I'd go into the training lab on like an off day when like a couple of guys would be in, and like we'll just do like some like wrestling, light drilling,
Yeah.
and I was paying a pretty penny, man. And eventually, I just kind of hopped on, and I became part of the family.
Wow.
A year later, like
Was this
I've been-
before or after the car accident that you started
This was
training
before.
with?
This was this is about a year ago,
Okay.
coming around now.
Okay.
Yeah, around this time last year.
Now,
Okay, so you
I
got a
believe
pretty-
you. Sorry,
Go
I
ahead,
believe you
hit
got
it.
some fans out there. Gabriel Guerrero.
Guerrero.
Since-
Oh yeah,
Said so much-
Yeah, gone 3 fight
He's
lifestyle.
saying
Kings Unite.
his quote is so much true class from this killer.
Oh,
Talking
thank
about
you.
you.
That's a
Appreciate
fact.
it,
That's a fact.
I try.
Yeah.
I try, man.
Gone 3 all day. What?
And I actually like. I used to want to be that fighter that, or just person in general that walks around with a chip on their shoulder, talking shit. You know what I mean? Like that's fun. Like I grew up around talking shit. You know.
That's why I love Nick
What-
Diaz.
Yeah, when I'm around my friends, when I'm around my friends,
love
him. Yeah, Nick Diaz is cool.
Right.
I have that mentality, man. Honestly, like I'm from Whittier, dude. You know what I mean? That's not. It's not. I grew up around like some of the harder parts of town, and my friends raised me up. So like my friends, you know, they're all their families like associated in some kind of way with like, you know, bad things, but they're all good people, man, and they kind of brought me up. And so I had that mentality, that killer mentality. And for a while I walked around with a chip on my shoulder, but it wasn't until I really got to talk to Mark Munoz, and Mark Munoz was telling me that you can't carry around a bad vibe and expect good things to come to you.
Right.
And he was talking. He was
That's
like,
pretty heavy.
Yeah, it is. And he was coming up with like these words that I need to be in. Like it ultimately became like my definition of becoming a man. And like basically like that's all I'm trying to be. I'm just trying to be a better man. And like
Good for
to
you,
me,
brother.
being a man, like I know for some people, like being a man means like being covered in women, having glam and cars and all that. But for me, it's about having respect, having integrity, taking care of your family. You know what I
Sky.
mean? Things like that. And so
right.
like that's what I'm trying to be as a person.
That's for real.
And Juan Archuleta one time posted something saying, you don't need to be an asshole to have confidence. And I fucking loved that. You know,
Yeah.
like that's me. That's what I want
And
to
Juan's a
be.
bad mother, so
Dude,
you know,
Juan's fucking
couldn't
legit.
come from a tougher dude.
No, man. I'm excited to see what he has in store for him, man. He's awesome, dude.
Yeah, and a quality dude. I mean, I was actually in the house for what ended up being his last fight for the King of the Cage.
Yeah,
At,
we were all there.
Now it's a Toyota Center, but
Yeah.
it was Citizens
Citizen Bank, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
absolutely. And that dude looked like a ninja. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean,
How many road miles
suplexing
on
the
him though?
Crap out of dudes, and like, it was incredible. And again, this is like a 4-division, simultaneous division. Everybody wants to talk about champ and all that,
Yeah.
double champion, whatever. This is a gentleman who fought really tough competition and claimed the title in 4 divisions of
Yeah.
King of the Cage. Like that's
Cleaning
I mean,
house.
if you don't know who Juan Archuleta is, he definitely get put on notice.
The Spaniard, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. He was there sparring today too, man. So he's like, I know he's gonna be getting another fight sometime
Oh,
soon.
yeah.
He's legit. Him, Cub Swanson's like a good guy, man. And
Right.
Yeah,
He's
he
got a
is.
good story too. I mean, he's older now, but his story coming up out of Palm Springs and stuff.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Going
that-
through the juvenile system.
100%, man. Like that's who I relate to the most. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't go to juvie or anything like that.
No, but the
you
chip
know,
on the shoulder,
yeah,
Right.
coming up and then just kind of growing up from like some bad situations.
right?
Like
From the streets, really.
Yeah, I remember one time I was working at a jewelry store and like Juan's wife had bought Cub bought his wife the ring there.
No way.
Yeah, and like so I remember running into him one time at the mall and I was just like chopping it up with him.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like when I was like just brand new onto the training
Dang.
lab. So it was like cool, man, like getting like
Jam
a
'em
one-on-one.
up.
Yeah.
Talking to him on a personal level and like he gave me some advice that I'm gonna hold with me forever, man. So like he was giving me like life about fighting and he was telling me, you know, like use this as a platform to build other businesses and
So
so,
smart.
yeah, like I'm around good people, man, and like I'm
That's why we got you on here, man. We know it.
I know,
right?
dude. Yeah, like
Gotta
my
build
first
you up.
podcast. I've never been interviewed before
Right.
in my life. My mom doesn't even like to hear what I have to say. So like being up on this, it gets
Shout
really
out to
exciting.
Mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Which is funny because I mean you were previously trading at the 10 Planet Youth Center
Uh-huh.
in Whittier
Uh-huh.
with Jonathan Santa Maria.
Yeah.
The first time that I was on a podcast was actually Mark Toyas' Unlocking podcast that he filmed right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Jonathan and
Yeah.
him were partners, right? So the first time that I'd ever done a podcast was his. So
Oh, okay.
it's kind of full circle.
Yeah, 100%. Coach John is. I would have to say everything I am today is because of him. He just really taught me like what it means to be like a good coach. Like I was training at a kickboxing gym and I wanted to learn jujitsu, so I started like I was looking around gyms. Like I didn't even know there was a difference between gi and no gi. Like I saw Joe Rogan get a black belt on YouTube, and I was like, oh, that looks cool. I'm gonna try jujitsu. And so
I want one
remember-
of those.
Yeah, I was one of those guys. So I went to his
all
gym.
good.
I saw 10 Planet. I said, oh, what the heck? I
You
thought I was
couldn't
in
have
LA.
started at a tougher place, right?
10
That's
Planet.
pretty cool.
Yeah, man. And like I remember talking to him, and he was telling me about the price and all that. And I was like just excited. So I went home. I got some money together. I went back to the gym, and then I paid him. And I was expecting a gi because,
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
Sure.
I
I seen the
expected
Karate
outfit.
Kid. They get free gis.
So I was expecting a gi with that membership, and he goes, "Yeah, just show up in." He's like, "Show up in workout clothes."
Yeah.
And I remember leaving that situation and going home, driving home, thinking like, "Fuck!" I signed up for like one of those like self-defense classes. I
sure.
thought he was gonna bring me like a rubber knife, and we are gonna learn how to like defend. You know what I mean? Like, so I did.
Some man versus world or whatever.
Yeah,
the
like
hell,
I thought I signed up for something like that. I was like, "Fuck! What the fuck did I pay for?" You know? But
He ain't hooked me up.
because he told me, he's like, "Yo, whatever you don't learn, you'll pick up." And so I'm just like, damn, I got involved in a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
But
some birdie made off.
But
right
it
there.
turned
But
out to be
I-
legit.
legit, fucking great coach. He's a great
Right.
coach and a great person. And what I love the most about him is that he doesn't ask anything of me. And so like the only thing he wants from me is my loyalty. And so, you know, he's always gonna be in my corner. He wasn't there for this last fight. He was with his family.
Right.
But you know, I had Mark Munoz, and
I
Mark
was gonna say, you
Munoz
got a
was brought up by
stacked corner.
him. Yeah, man.
Jeez.
I always, like I said, it took a while to get people like that in my life, but I'm thankful for it. Good
Yeah.
people, man.
And maybe that gets into other people's heads. I mean, you got Mark Muniz in your corner, man. They're thinking, man, this kid's really working on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was cool. I even thought, I was like, damn,
Yeah,
this
dude.
guy's rolling deep.
Well, I fanboyed quite a little bit. My wife's of Filipino descent. There's a Filipino fighting machine, Mark Munoz,
Yeah.
OG Pioneer, and I'm sorry, I just fanboyed out. I was like, can I take a picture? Can I? Let's look at and he was just couldn't have been cooler.
Yeah,
you
he's
know?
super cool. And it's funny because, like, here we are, we're going down, like, right before our medicals. Like, I'm nervous, man. I'm about to fight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just thinking, like, damn, like, why am I doing this, you know? And then, like,
Because you're good at it.
yeah, and then people are asking him, hey, can we take pictures? And, like, I really, you know, I got a little jealous. I was going to tell him, like, hey, dude, you guys take pictures with him after the fight? Like, we
Yeah.
need to get prepared. We need to get focused, you know?
This is me time.
Yeah, this is, you know what I mean? But he's a cool dude, so he took some pictures with some people, and it was, like, nice seeing that, like, they recognized him, you know what I mean? Because he's done a lot for, like, not just MMA, but, like, for a community. Like, he's, like, does, like, the anti-bullying campaign, and
Yeah.
he's just an all-around, like, solid person.
He's a
man.
wrestling coach down south, too.
He wrestled, he's a wrestling coach, Rain Wrestling, out in Laguna.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing that for my next camp. I don't know when I'll be fighting again, but I'll be training over there with those kids. And so, young studs, man, young studs. So we'll be doing that. And then the training labs, they're going to have Rain Wrestling at the training lab. They're going to, like, the
mixing
training
it
lab's,
up.
like, legit, man.
Yeah.
We got, dude, I did some technical sparring today with Raymond Daniels.
Yeah.
And, wow, that guy is something else, dude. Like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I know a lot of kids would, like, kill to be in my position, man.
Yeah.
And like, just training with Raymond Daniels, I knew at any moment he could have taken my head off
Yeah.
easily. But he's such a cool dude, very humble person, and like he was working with me, like showing me what I was doing wrong. And so, like,
Was his wife there?
yeah, Northcutt, yeah, she's a great person too. She's really nice.
Is she big, all cut up like her little brother? Or is it little brother, right?
Sage,
That Sage is her little brother?
Yeah.
yeah, she's she's lean, she's athletic, yeah,
She's striker too, right?
striker,
I
yeah.
didn't know Sage Northcutt had a sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
the
And
older
she's
sister,
fighting?
Yeah.
I don't know if she's fighting,
Yeah,
I
but
think
she-
But she's training.
She's watching.
She's
Wow.
yeah.
MMA, yeah.
On the East Coast.
Dang.
Yeah, but
I know they have, I think it's what, karate or taekwondo
karate,
background.
yeah, in Texas.
Is
Yeah,
he
they're
on
awesome,
the
man. Good
UFC still, or in UFC
She's
still?
in one.
He's in one. Okay.
Yeah. All the
I
best
want
to
to
him
see one
too.
come here.
She was telling me actually that I mean I can't really like it's gonna happen, but she was telling me that she's trying to get him to train at the training lab too, and
Oh,
that would be
my
cool.
goodness,
Yes, if we
yeah.
have Sage Northcutt there,
Right.
man, that'd
Mix
be
it up.
that'd be great because he's a cool dude too, man, and
Yeah.
I know he would be a great training partner for. He's like around my age, and so
He certainly
be
got a
cool.
lot of experience for a young guy too, right?
yeah, he does, man.
You know?
He's ripped too, man. I don't know what the heck he eats, man, but I'm trying to get on that level.
He's on that high
You're not
inhibitor,
far.
you know?
Shit, dude.
Yeah.
He trains at the Tyler.
Kyle-
Oh, Tyler Wombles over at
Oh,
Classic
okay,
Fight
yeah,
Team,
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Fountain Valley.
Oh, classic, yeah,
Yeah.
classic
Yeah.
fight.
Classic's got a legit team,
Yeah.
Tyler's his fucking
right? Those guys are badass.
Yeah, there's a lot of legit
Right.
gyms out here nowadays.
And Chewy's
man.
place,
Yeah.
Chewy's boxing place is legit too, down the street.
Yeah, raw,
Raw
talent.
talent.
boxing, Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy, you know, like, because there was a point that I kind of want to get back to. You were saying that the method of your training, at least what you're trying to get into,
Mhm.
is your coach wants you to do 3 AMIs and then go pro, right? So
Yeah.
usually, you know, a lot of coaches would like to see, you know, a stellar amateur career capped
Yeah.
off by either a promotional or a Campbell State title
Yeah.
victory. So, what is the methodology between like just 3 fights and go pro rather than maybe kind of win a title at it as an amateur? Or
I mean, the title is nice and pretty. It's cool and all right having a title, but at the end of the day, like once you go pro, your record's 0-0. So all those amateur fights, they mean dick. You know what I mean?
He's
That's
right.
what.
It just starts over.
And literally, like, I'll be taking the same damage as an amateur that I would as a pro if I continue to fight as an amateur, and I wouldn't be getting paid for it. So there's a lot of things like that. Plus, in the pros, if you're smart about it and you're fighting and you like have people lining up the right fights, you'll be okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't need to have 30 amateur fights and then go in and already have freaking head damage and brain damage and then you know what I mean? They say if you're lucky,
Smart.
you'll get 4 to 5 years as an MMA fighter.
right.
And so I'm just around people that want to make sure that we're doing everything the right way, you know? That was Coach John's statement. He wanted me to do 3 Amis and then go pro, and I'm gonna try to stick by it. So if I do another amateur, it might be the last one before I make that jump to pro. Or if I'm offered a good fight with a good promotion, I would love to go pro. I mean, I sell tickets, you know. Thankfully, I have a good following. I have great family and friends that like to come out and watch me throw down.
Yeah.
And it's cool, man. Like I do it more for them, you know. Like we all get together, and then after we all like party it up at my house, and it's always a good time. And win or lose, man, they're always there to support me. And so like having that's like my big push. You know what I mean? Like I remember before the fight even happened, like I saw my mom in the stands, and I was just like, man, that's my mom. You know?
Yeah.
I could tell she was nervous. She was more nervous than me, but I love that lady, man. And like for her to be there, like it means a lot.
That's
Because she doesn't support it, you know. My mom's a school teacher, so for my mom to be there and like being okay with me going out there and knowing that I'm gonna be okay regardless of any outcome, like that means a lot to me. Like her support means everything.
No, for sure, man. That family kind of, and it's not just like blood or whatever, but I mean that community that kind of surrounds you.
Yeah.
You know? And I mean we've seen it. You were talking about, hey, you almost joined CSW.
Yeah.
After a tough fight. Usually what ends up happening, I've seen it with like Jordan Mins and I can't remember, Bo Brooks, right?
Mm-hmm.
They fought on a MMA events in card way back in like 3 years ago in Pasadena, and now they're 2 bosom buddies. But they were opponents that night, and it's just like you see cool interactions, that happen. But it's this community of support, and it starts off with the homestead,
Yeah.
So
Hometown heroes, dude. That's what we got.
Yeah.
It's coming out of Whittier. All those guys are training over in Brea. You're over in Placentia. I mean, come on. We're breeding it right here.
Yeah, man. SoCal's like a good spot to get into MMA, man.
I can't think of a better place per capita, mile for mile, square radius to square radius.
I'm just in his hood. You got Aaron Pico around the block. You got Aaron Corrales. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Aaron Lafarge.
Aaron Pico is a really great kid too, man. I remember I used to hate on him, just because he's
Yeah.
from Whittier, and like when they announced his fight,
Kinda
he's
came up, right?
Yeah, so he came up, and I was like a hater, I
Sure.
hated on it, but I got to meet the guy, and he's really cool, really humble kid, and
Yeah.
he's a great person. Like I remember the first thing, like when I went to go meet him at the training lab, he shook my hand. He goes, "Hi, I'm Aaron," and like to me that means a lot. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
we're not
Some guy-
assuming that you know
Yeah,
who he is.
yeah. Some people they'll kind of shove you off. You shake their hand like, "Hi, I'm Gabriel," and then they'll just like, "Okay," like, and then just shake your hand. So he did that, and then Brian Ortega did that too. When I got the chance to meet him at HBUTC, which was like super cool, man. Like things like that, like it's you respect people like that. So-
Yeah.
and Aaron Pico, man, I hope he does well too. Actually, he told me he
I wanna
lives down
see
the
what
street from
happens.
me.
Really?
Yeah, he's super close to me, and so maybe someday I'll go for a run with him in the morning or something. Like
That'd be cool.
yeah, I know he's training out at Jackson Wink right now, and
Right.
Yeah.
he's got a good camp
That's
and good
for sure.
people. They have Dan the Determined training out there too.
Mhm.
Who else is there? My buddy Danny Silva hopping around gyms, man.
Wow.
Have you heard of Danny Silva? He fought for Spar Star, I
Spar
think.
Star, yeah.
Man, that kid, he's good too, man. And I think, man, these are like, it's weird because I'm the next generation of fighters,
Hell
and
yeah.
we're all
Hell
on the same
yeah.
age. Like, dude, these are kids that are gonna be like up there.
Me and
Wow.
producer Robert
Yeah.
were just at Jackson Wink last month.
Oh, really? How was it?
Checking it out.
The twins are there too.
Yeah, the twins were there.
Chase
and Cooper Gibson, yeah.
Is that the Twin Dragons kid?
The CMMA
No, no.
guys.
Oh, it's
CMMA,
CMMA.
yeah.
guys.
Yes.
Okay.
Tough
They're literally
bastards.
twins. I think the Twin Dragons you're talking about is the Kim brothers. But they're-
Yeah, from San Diego or something like that. Dude, those kids are legit too, man.
Josh Wang and
Yeah, those guys are
they're
legit.
incredible. Those dudes legit ninjas. But yeah, so Cooper and Chase are actually twins,
Uh-huh.
like actual
Yeah,
twins.
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Tough to tell
yeah.
apart until like they grow their hair different,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fuck that up every time I see him.
right? Yeah, me too. Me too. It's easy to mess up,
Like,
but they're
I'm talking about my
tough.
brother. I was like, damn it.
Oh,
they're
really?
they're both equally tough. Yeah, just Chad George, he breeds them. You know,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
guys.
CMMA is a legit gym,
Right?
man. Tough cook.
A
Those
lot
tough
of
people
talent coming out of there.
Yeah, man.
You know,
my friend, a lot of the guys like I know Spike went out there to train a couple
Yeah, Spike
times.
Carlisle,
Yeah, Willie Gates, like I seen
Yeah.
him be out. Like he was
actually,
out
they
there a
were in
couple times.
Spike's corner for was it Lights Out?
Yeah, the farmer. Yeah, the
CXF. It was last CXF season's beatings.
Yeah,
Nice.
Last year, this time almost, and Spike won that fight, and he's incredible.
Yeah.
You're right.
absolutely.
And Chad was in his corner, so I was like, "How do I not see Spike?" Now I know he's from your school.
And what's cool is that like he comes from our school, but he's able to train
Oh, he's in
there,
San
you know what I
Diego
mean?
too, isn't he?
Yeah,
like
well,
he's
he's-
traveling.
Yeah, man, he lives out in San Diego,
Yeah.
and he also has a place in Anaheim. Like this
Right.
kid,
He
I mean
gets around.
that's it though. You know what I mean? Like Cub Swanson, he told me if you want it, man, you got to get it where you can. And so it's cool that there's a lot of these gyms out here that are willing to take on other like
Yeah,
fighters and allow them
absolutely.
to train there. You know what I mean? That's eventually what the training lab is going to be. Like we're still in the process of getting everything built out there, but eventually, like I'm sure we're gonna have like an open match, like everybody from other gyms, and it's cool, man. Like
It's insane to
Yeah.
think about. Yeah,
I mean, it's a small community, man. You end up fighting about people one way or another, and so, I mean, as much as we're fighting each other, and it's a career, and like we're trying to put food on the table for our families. At the end of the day, like we're a small circle, and so you gotta
100%.
get in where you can. Like
100%.
if at some point I'd like to train at CMMA, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Get some wrestling in. They had
Yeah.
that one kid, Johnny Robles, that just
Oh,
fought.
Johnny
Yeah.
Robles.
Dude, that kid was a
Monster.
killer, man. Did you see him?
Yeah.
You see his fight against that guy?
Yeah, so I mean, I was there when he won the state title back at Epic, the
Uh-huh.
last Epic show in San Diego,
Uh-huh.
and he looked phenomenal. That just makes Johnny Ferris' title win even that more impressive because that was like a top
Yeah,
five
Johnny
title.
Ferris is
Yeah.
on fire, right?
Yeah, man. I'm glad. Like when Ray was still around, I was offered a fight with him at King of the Cage, an amateur fight.
Whoa.
And as much as I would love it now, I'm so glad I didn't take it then, man, because that kid could
Yeah,
kid
he
could
could
go.
go.
Yeah, I
Right.
probably have been dumped on my head, man. And
Yeah.
so
And the crazy thing about Robles, so I mean, and this is kind of like I don't think I'm talking too out of school, but I mean, it's kind of a convergence because Johnny Robles is actually a UWF USA guy,
Uh-huh.
Josh Barnett.
oh, okay.
Right? And there's a working relationship that happens at CMMA where, you know, the UWF guys and the CMMA guys are essentially one team. When Josh can't corner, I mean, in the instance of that last Epic show, Josh was cornering Victor Henry in Japan.
Oh, really?
So Chad was cornering Johnny Robles en route to a state title win. You
Wow.
know? And just to have that, and then Adam Lerner from A4, you know, the striking coach of Terrion Flash Ware, you know, they're all like I just happened to go there probably about a month ago to interview Louis Swinky, and I was just like the minds that are there that put this team together, right? Mike Hermosillo on the mats and what have you.
Mike Hermosillo, shout out, just won his fight out in 29 Palms.
20
Congrats,
last
man.
week, yeah.
Right?
Congrats.
That's a big one for the homie.
Absolutely.
You know, he's
And-
getting
Yeah.
older. I only bring it up because he's getting older.
Oh, yeah.
so
Not a young guy
Congrats,
like
man.
my homie Gabriel
Congrats.
here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's kind of crazy to see that, you know, Chad George is an amazing scientist when it comes to game plans.
Yeah.
Right?
Might be
And
the
then-
best in the game at the moment. He's a strategist, and he picks the right fights, and he gets his fighters prepared, and then they dominate it. Just whatever he's doing, obviously, none of us can deny that. You know,
Absolutely. Then you go down the line. I mean, none other than former UFC heavyweight champion and Josh Barnett, King of Pancrase.
Yeah.
You know, a disciple of. the
And they're
great Mickey
partners, dude.
Robinson,
They're so tight.
And yeah, you know, and he's bringing his knowledge to the game. You know, and then Adam Lerner, if you talk to that guy in terms of his knowledge of boxing history and where it applies to your body and how, like the angles and whatever, again, how they have that. And then Mike Hermosillo, a jiu-jitsu wizard.
they're
right?
they're layered.
Right?
Yeah,
And you've got all four of them working together with his team, you know, and you've got like Taylor Alfaro, Cody Davis, Hiro Sasaki, the Gibson brothers, like, and they all work together. And it's just like, like you walk in the doors to see MMA and all you see, well, first off, you see championships lining
That's right.
Wow.
the lobby and medals hanging to boot. But then the warmth, you generally feel a warmth there. And they're getting
Like a welcoming feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
absolutely.
they're a family. There's no two ways
Yeah,
about it. Some
absolutely.
gyms are that way, some are not. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? But
yeah.
they kind of got both. Like, it's a tough place, but they're a family.
Yeah.
I don't see that a whole lot where you can actually bring it and still be tight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what we're trying to get at the training
Yeah.
lab, man.
Yeah,
Like,
That's
and
cool.
It seems to a large extent that you guys are achieving it at the training lab. I mean, we're talking obviously, the tutelage of Mark Munoz.
Mm-hmm.
We got Sam Calamita. We've and then
You got the right-
disciples of Rain,
Mm-hmm.
right?
It's a
Rain
fact,
Wrestling.
yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny Santa Maria. We're talking, Cub Swanson. We're talking T.J. Dillashaw.
Yeah.
I mean,
Legit.
and the thing about it is, like, if you've, with Archuleta's that's King of the Cage, right? I mean, T.J. Dillashaw, who is the UFC bantamweight champion,
Yeah.
Who's there?
was cornering him.
Yeah.
And the mutual respect that they have for each other. I mean, that obviously permeates to everybody that's on the mats there, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're like best friends, man. Like,
Yeah,
it's funny,
they are.
like when we were getting Juan ready for his fight against the Pitbull,
Right.
man, it was just like, it was almost like hard, like explain what it was like being in the gym. We were over there at Huntington Beach training at Tiki's gym, the Huntington Beach Ultimate Training Center.
Yeah, yeah.
All of training lab was there, man. Like, all of our guys were there training, and it was just like, there was an aura about it. You know what I mean? Like we were working hard. We were drilling hard. For my last fight, I didn't do any sparring. It was just drilling and training.
Wow.
But like, it was hard drilling it, and I feel like I might want to take that on for my next fight too, because to prevent brain injury before a fight. But just the way like they calculate everything, and then like Juan and TJ's relationship, like we were working hard, but we were sharing a laugh too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could tell Juan was in a good place at that moment. Like, he wasn't overstressed, and like he looked ready, man. And it was awesome just being a part of that, and like seeing this guy just take on fight after fight, man. Like, honestly, Juan's coming up, dude, and if not soon, then eventually, like, he's gonna be that guy, like that champion, you know?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that he hasn't already at this stage of career turn out, championship performances.
Yeah.
Because again,
King of the cage.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, at the same time, simultaneous champ. So it's amazing to see, and that just shows you how great Pitbull was,
Yeah.
on that night of September 28th. Because I mean, that was essentially the best Juan the Spaniard Archuleta that you could have produced,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right? So,
I think there were some things that kind of like it could have been like switched around. Like, I heard that TJ wasn't allowed to be in his corner for that fight.
really,
Yeah, and
because of the ban.
I'm not too sure why,
Okay.
but
I'm sure it was.
I figured like that's
You know?
some bullshit, man. And I think had he been there, like that might have made that slightest difference. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because of the chemistry they have. But it is what it is. Juan took it like a champion. He's training now. He's working his ass off, and he'll be back in there, and I'm sure they'll get to run it back again. So I like that they have that mutual respect, man. Honestly, I've tried to pick that up so much from him,
Yeah.
and like just my style of fighting has like switched up from my first fight to my third fight. And even my second fight, my style switched up a lot, and it's due to like TJ just being there and like making sure like I'm throwing the right punches. And I hate that I go on like Instagram or social media and I see people knocking him and like shit talking him and about like the whole ban and all that. Like the guy was trying to put food on the table for his family. You know what I mean? Yeah, he fucked up, whatever, dude. Like, but at least he
But
owned
his
up
style.
to it.
What
He
about
owned-
that style of
Yeah.
fighting, though? Come on.
Yeah, I'm thankful for it. I'm just glad he
Unorthodox.
owned up to like what he did though.
Absolutely,
You know what I mean?
but
And-
he's super unorthodox in what you're saying. So to be able to learn from that,
yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Joey, you got some words for us.
I got some words. I got to before we forget. We got to thank a lot of our sponsors here.
That's right. Get it.
MMA Event
Events.
Inc. Event Inc. We got also All 7, Massage Massage Matters, Cauliflower Nation, Word of Mouth, and Our Life CBD.
Here comes the CBD right here.
Now this is the stuff to use, guys.
Using it all over down there.
Straight 100% CBD.
Got to have it. I don't know where Sean Lerma is. He's usually in house, but our homie, Our Life CBD, is out there probably selling product as we speak. But hit us up. Check him out on ourlifecbd.com or DM us, Robert, myself, Joey, Adam, and we'll get you some product. Whatever you need for CBD, we got you.
And a quick shout out to
That's it.
Yeah, check it out, brother.
quick shout out to
man.
Get you hooked
K-Cat.
up.
Arturo Ramos Jr. is watching.
What's up, Art?
Was it Jerry? I'm messing up his last name. Jerry.
See you, Saga.
There you go. And Mindy,
Jerry, the Samoan,
Nice.
right? Sons of Samoa.
and then Mindy Hinojosa.
And Mindy.
Oh, yeah. Dang.
My
fresh
girl
off the
Mindy.
birthday anniversary.
That's my cousin, Jerry, by the way.
Right on.
For real.
Wow.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, appreciate
Yeah.
everyone.
So thank you guys for watching this.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
real quick. I was gonna say.
Come on, shout outs
I-
for you.
Yeah, shout outs to me, but real quick, I was gonna touch back onto what you were talking about.
Yeah, tell me.
Training with TJ has been phenomenal, man.
Okay.
Like the way like my striking has come along, especially with Mark Munoz' wrestling,
Sure.
man, it goes hand in hand, and it's been like I can't wait to be able to display it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This last fight, I didn't get to really showcase everything I've been through, and
Did it
like,
early, bro. That's what
Yeah.
it's all about.
Yeah, if
No
it's cool.
damage
If you
for
look
you.
at like the fight, that kid kicked out my leg, right?
Yeah.
And instead of circling out in an orthodox position, I went southpaw,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what kept me on my feet. That's what kept me there. I feel like had I been in an orthodox position, he probably would have opened up with the overhand right on my head, you know.
Wow.
And so it's little things like that like they've implemented in me, and that we've gone over like so much. Like when we're warming up, literally like we'll go in a circle from orthodox to southpaw, working like our jabs and things like that. That will like. That, you know, it became stable to me, and I didn't really realize it until I looked back on the fight and I saw
Sure.
myself circling out in that southpaw position.
Yep.
And it's like, shit, we drill that in the mornings, you know, right before
Wow.
practice. So
And you
it's,
do it instinctually now.
yeah, it's just instinct, man. It's second
Yeah.
nature, and so that's awesome. Shout out to my friends and my family, whoever's watching this.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to you guys. Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you, brother. It's
The
all
training
good.
lab, Sam Calavita, who put it all together, Coach John over at Dog Pound MMA, and the people at Dog Pound who are taking care
real.
of me. All my coaches, just everyone, man. Shout out to you guys, man.
Your mom, Spar
and my
Stars,
mom, and
right?
my mama, yeah.
We love the guys at Spar Star, Heather.
Yeah, the
Mike.
Heather that we're referring to is the one Heather Leanne Hyatt.
Right.
So,
Yeah, shout out to Heather, shout
Mike
out to
Gross.
Tony,
Yeah.
Mike Gross.
Tony T-Bone Steaks.
Yeah.
Rick Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, Rick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out
Oh.
to Gone 3.
La Howla. I don't know where my La Howla sticker is, but we're
La Howla
supposed to be
Boys.
pumping
Hashtag La Howla Boys.
La
You
Howla
know what's
Boys, the
up.
Cage Boys.
Yeah.
That's
so-
Rick Hollywood's brand. So we'll get some T-shirts and some stickers in here.
So, Mr. Suavecito, real quick question.
Hit him.
Yes, sir.
You know, being from where you're from, did you catch yourself, you know, typical Latino Hispanic background? Did you catch yourself doing boxing before you got to MMA, or just straight MMA? Because you know a lot of kids in your area, and especially where I was from, there were always boxers.
Yeah.
Before the MMA thing caught around.
It's the
And-
culture.
And, what inspired you to get into the MMA ring? Like what made you go into this whole situation instead of boxing?
It's a long story, honestly. I could try to sum it up. Just say like I was 19 years old,
Okay.
and my manhood was tested
All right.
a couple times, and instead of acting on it, I kind of shied away. And so, you know, I was put in a predicament that like I didn't really like and I didn't feel comfortable with, and especially sitting with myself. And I found a gym out in Whittier, and it was $7 for a kickboxing class. And
Wow.
that kickboxing instructor, he was like 4-time champion, and he had like some boxing bouts on him. And so he was like a striker. He wasn't your traditional like Muay Thai fighter, you know, the hands up like this. You know, he
Yeah.
came from a kickboxing background, and so that was when I first started training at 19, and then you know a couple years later I fell into jiu-jitsu, and I didn't ever like plan on becoming an MMA fighter. It just kind of happened. I did my first jiu-jitsu competition and I got second place. And my coach John Santa Maria said, you know, if you really want to be a fighter, like I'll put you on, I'll get you with the right people. And then that's how I got introduced to Ray Lopez. And then eventually we trained at King's MMA with Mark Munoz when he was teaching classes there.
Wow.
And then Mark Munoz just kind of, the rest was history. Mark Munoz just carried me on and put me with who I'm with today.
Was that Kings in Anaheim or Kings Huntington?
It was King's
Huntington
Huntington.
Beach. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another good gym, man. Like,
Hell
those
yeah.
guys there are
I
crazy.
like that parking spot they have out there. You know that one parking spot that has the belt colored on the curb? You
Oh,
ever see
yeah.
that?
No, I didn't get to check
Only
that
the
out.
coach parks there.
I
Is
just
that
drove
right?
by there because I had to run by there
Near
before I
Ocean
got
View
here.
High School. You see the
Yeah.
parking lot. There's one special parking spot that has the color of the
Yeah.
belt, and you can't park there unless you're the coach.
And
Oh,
it's
okay.
super funny because Dalo went there.
And Dalo parks wherever the hell he
Parks,
wants.
right? The guy who owns this place, he parks there, and
So tell us the Dalo story.
Yeah, he parks in that stall. He gets out of the car, and some guy goes, "Hey," he told him like, "You can only park there if you're a black belt." And then he said something like, "Yeah, cool, yeah, I'm good," and walks away. And he-
That's dope,
John
man.
Delo
But
is
the
old,
funny part
old
is, I
school
think-
jiu-jitsu guy.
I think he said something like,
MMA guy.
he goes, "Yeah, I'm a black belt 4 times already."
because he's
Damn.
fourth degree, so fifth degree now, right?
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Okay.
It's probably beyond that because
Yeah, that was a clean
being
side
a
of the
fighter,
story.
being a fighter, John doesn't even pay attention to those little things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He just sticks with the game.
Yeah.
So for them to challenge him, I'm surprised they walked away.
And to jump back on your question, I mean, I'm glad I did kickboxing before like actual MMA and all that
Yeah.
because I mean, when I'm in there, man, I'm there to put on a show. You know what I mean?
Of
And, like,
course.
I'm there to strike, and if it gets taken down to the ground, thankfully I've been around some good people that have helped me out there, and so I just want to put on a show, man. And so I feel like that's like the Whittier in me, that's the Southeast LA in me, man. That like that punching person, you know.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people see it different. I like watching MMA fight where straight up hand to hand, knock the motherfucker out.
Yeah.
Knock the fool out.
Yeah.
And then, but you get games where people are tying up and the jiu-jitsu. I respect that.
Yeah.
But me as a fan, I like to see that knockout.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like every fan wants to watch. You know what I mean? Like before I got into like the actual MMA, I was just kind of I was a spectator, so I was just like watching it too. And I didn't really know like the big names. I was just kind of watching it and like, oh wow, that looks sick. And so I feel like fighters like that are able to stand up and strike and put on a good show. Fans gravitate towards people like that
That's
because
actually true.
I mean, boxing has been around for so long, and
Yeah.
people love boxing because it's striking, right? And so, like, if you're a boxing fan and you're getting into MMA, of course you're gonna want to see someone punch. You know what I mean? If you see them down on the ground, you're gonna kind of think like, "What the heck? Like, what the hell is this?" And
Yeah.
they're gonna end up changing the channel. But if you're there putting on a show, like, that's how you're gonna get paid, and then that's how you're gonna get a bigger fan base. You know?
Of course, and that's what woke me up too. When I used to train myself, I was always Mr. Boxing, F this jiu-jitsu crap. But once I got myself involved in that, just a little taste of it,
Oh yeah,
I totally respect it.
100%.
I mean, you try to throw a
yeah.
hand, somebody takes you down, you're down on the ground, and I'm like a turtle. I'm like, I can't get up.
You're drowning.
And I'm
Is what
drowning, and
happens.
then I
You
get tied
drown.
up, and I'm tapping out because you don't want to tap out because you want to prove that you're strong. And I remember one time I tried not to tap out, and the next day my arm was hurting
Really?
because I didn't want to tap.
Damn.
And yeah,
man.
it sucks.
There was actually a viral video going around. I think it was last week at a jiu-jitsu, like a nogi, like super fight in I want to say it was like Jersey, somewhere in the East Coast. But a gentleman didn't tap, and he got his arm basically,
Oh,
broken.
man.
And that snap on that is just like, I mean, the guy who was administering this armbar was just like, I'm done. Like the fact that he administered that type of pain to somebody else, he was just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. You know?
Sure.
Yeah,
Not
'cause-
even the guy who got his arm broke.
Yeah, because my first armbar were, I mean, this is a time when I was working construction. So I was a pretty strong dude. So the guy wrapped me up. He was a little guy, too. So I started picking him up in the air and, like, just let me the freak go. I was pissed. And then they're like, just tap out. I'm not tapping out. I don't give a shit. And so I'm lifting him up, trying to slam him on the ground. And I said, fuck it. I'm done. I give up. I didn't
Damn.
tap. I told him I gave up. And, dude.
That's the same thing.
I regretted it.
It's the same thing.
It hurt so much.
Uncle is the same thing.
I know, but still, I think
It
tapping
isn't
out.
a matter of pride, though.
I know,
when
I
you're
know.
training, you tap so that you can.
And
you
at
need
the
to
time,
learn.
I was stubborn because I thought jiu-jitsu guys were a big joke to me at the time because I was a boxer.
No, the joke is when you're in the street and somebody taps. You're
Yeah.
like, no, we're in
Yeah,
the
that-
street. This is
Yeah.
not going to stop.
Yeah.
You need to be
Absolutely.
careful, man. You can't
But
be messing around with street fights. You
That
know?
woke me up big time. So I
Yep.
totally respect the MMA fighting game. Like I said, I was strictly about boxing because
Yeah.
maybe because the way I grew up and the way I was raised. Then once I started being a coach myself, my brother and I, my brother, he was a wrestling coach.
He's a legit wrestling coach.
And we put it all together, and I respect the fight. I respect the MMA fight. I respect the hand combat,
Yeah.
whatever, and it changed my life.
See?
Same here. When I had my first fight at Spar Star, I came in thinking like, it's all stupid, man. I thought I was gonna hit this guy with the overhand and like that's it. You know what I mean? One punch. All dramatic.
Confidence.
Fucking, yeah, I was gonna jump on the cage and then like we got in there. I threw the overhand. It landed really nice, but then that kid like judo tossed me and held me on the ground.
Yeah.
I hate it because whenever Spar Star does like the promotions things, like they always show that clip.
Oh,
and it's
no,
like
that
it's a
sucks.
constant reminder. After
learn.
that, I was like, okay, well, I really need to learn some wrestling, and so
Yeah.
that's when I got in touch with the training lab and. I've like shot off from
good.
there, man. That wrestling, it's crucial. You need it,
Yep.
and jujitsu too.
Right?
Jujitsu too.
It's the whole package. It's all of it.
Yeah.
It's mixed martial arts for a reason because you got to be ready for just about everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. Now, there's one thing that you kind of said, because obviously you were talking about like exciting fights, and those usually including like knockouts, right?
Yeah.
But in your last training camp, right, you were saying that a lot of it was situational drilling
Yeah.
rather than like hard sparring.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how have you been able to kind of curb it? Obviously, do you think like the methodology of going through the motion versus actually applying it in live sparring, does that help you more than it would if you just sat there and traded blows with TJ Dillashaw or what have you? Do you think it's better for worse, like ensuring that you're going to get a knockout doing situational stuff or live sparring?
I think situational I like situational like drilling because a lot of times you're in bad positions and you're like working on getting up or like working on like getting out of those positions.
Smart, like swim in
And-
deep water.
Yeah, and then like when you're sparring, pretty much it's just like you're like your trigger goes on. You know what I mean? And you're just kind of like working on what you already know.
Yeah.
But when you're like in those positions that you need to like tough spots, then or like you're drilling like a combo or you're drilling something, then like it becomes so repetitive that eventually like like if I throw this, it's gonna fucking land or it's gonna hit something. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so
I think you're right. You bring up a valid point because training camps are roughly 6 weeks.
yeah,
And you take a lot of damage. And I've often said to most fighters is that you take more damage in training in your camp
Yeah.
than you do at the fight. The fight's
Right,
nothing after you do 6 weeks of camp with the toughest guys.
Yeah.
But if you're wise and if your coach is wise and they're not breaking you down so much that you're not yourself,
Yeah.
because that often happens. Fighter
Right.
shows up, they're not themselves. And, I feel bad for the fighter sometimes, but they've not been given the right coaching or the right camp.
Right.
Or they've been broken, I mean,
Right.
to the point where you shouldn't be, right? They didn't
Yeah.
build them back up. It's okay to break someone down. I get
Yeah.
that part. They didn't build them back up. They sent them in there like a wounded animal.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know?
yeah,
And
But-
when you're looking back in that scenario of if you're a fighter from start to finish, you may, if you're lucky, have 5 years in.
Yeah.
How many of those years or seconds or moments, that you could be separated from big money, were spent in the gym when nobody's watching.
That's
Yeah.
a fact. And how many people have a tough time getting, I mean, you're a young man, you're very in shape already, but some people cut to the point where they are not themselves anymore.
Right.
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
man. I went through that. My second fight, I would like. I mean, I was with the training lab. Like, I was like fresh in, but like I wasn't going to anyone for advice on like cutting weight. So I literally like I just remember draining my body, and then we weighed in, and I looked like shit, dude. Like I looked like just skinny. I had
Your
like
brain
no,
probably wasn't there either. You know what
yeah, I
mean?
remember going up to Ray and like him and his girl and like I was like, "What's your name again?" Like
Julie. Shout out
Julie.
to Julie.
No, but I was telling Ray like, "What's your name?" And then he goes, "I'm Ray." And I said, "Okay, and your name?" And she goes, "Julie." I said, "Ray and Julie." And I felt horrible about it after, but I think I was just so drained and like I had like
exactly
no liquid in me, and I just like, I mean, thankfully I got that win, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
This last one was awesome, dude. Like.
You got it down.
Let me show you a picture real quick. Like the difference in my body at the weigh-ins from
Hit it.
my second fight from
Is
this
it on your
last
Insta?
one. It was on my Instagram story. I'll post it back up.
Okay. I was gonna say I was gonna get Robert to put it up, but if it's not on there, he'll never find it.
This is so that's me
Yep.
at 150 in January.
I saw you
right?
that day. I know. I
That's-
was there.
That's me
Yeah.
at 150
Yeah.
in January, and then this was me at the weigh-ins on October 5th.
And
Buff.
cut,
Ripped,
like
right.
out of granite. Yeah. Yeah. And more muscle mass.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean,
You look dangerous there. I'll tell you that.
I tried it, man. Like, that's another thing. So, like, I know the kid fights at 45, and I'm supposed to be a 45er as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's amateurs, man, and
Right.
so I'm not gonna drain my body for 145 pounds and like not get anything out of it. You know what I
Right,
mean? That's maybe
absolutely.
a small percentage of the tickets I sell, but that's like I reached out to Heather and I asked if we could do it at 150 because I walk around at 170, and so
Okay.
like 20 pounds, man, like that was tough as it was, you know.
Right. Absolutely.
The day before I was at 158, so I had 8 pounds to cut, and I remember being at the gym with at 24 Hour Fitness with my buddy Jonathan Kircher.
Wow.
2 a.m. man, weighing in, and like we sent a picture to Coach Cal, and he told me like what to do. Like, I'm not gonna share his
Right.
like, regimen.
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
don't do that.
But and what to drink, and so like I followed his regimen. I woke up the next morning. I was like day of weigh-ins. I was at 154, and like he put me on this machine, and it showed like how much water I had. Like I was healthy, dude. I had like 66% body,
That's
like
good.
water
That's
in
good.
my body. Like I was those 4 pounds were like nothing to drop, and so.
That's good for your brain too.
Yeah, I went into a sauna. Like he told me to follow the same regimen, but I probably should have. It probably would have looked even more ripped. But I just went into a sauna for like 20 minutes, and then I dipped out and I went to weigh-ins and I weighed at 150 on the dot, which
Perfect.
is like super cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shit, I need that regimen to get rid of this damn belly. Shit.
That's a tougher regimen for that, Joe.
I know. Believe me.
You got to run to New York and back.
So, I mean, I don't want to let you get out of here without mentioning Coach Sam, right? And so,
Yeah.
obviously, you've got literal champions in the game, right? And then under the tutelage of Mark Munoz, right? But how integral is Sam Calamita to the training lab and your guys' overall like nutrition? Obviously, you guys are
Oh,
taxing your
man.
bodies in
Yeah.
ways that most people don't. So, what is that like?
I mean, it's cool. Like, pretty much like if we're a family, Sam Calavita is like the dad, and his wife's the mom, Monica. Sam Calavita, he's the one that taught Coach Boss and Coach Preston. And so our strength and conditioning comes from there. Monica, I think she'll be coming out with like a meal prep company with her daughter, and like for a little while she was making me like some breakfasts.
Wow.
And dude, man, they eat like killer food. I mean, I grew up on like chorizo and eggs. You know what I mean? And
I
then-
still eat that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I had some a while
Right?
back. Yeah,
I thought that was healthy.
me too, man. I
Soy
go to
miso.
tortilla,
Yeah,
man.
right.
Yeah. I heard that soy has high cholesterol, so
It
that's not good for you.
does.
So
It does.
you guys shouldn't be eating
Stick
that
to the
stuff.
beef.
But like they eat like wild game, man. Like she's known for having like antelope pizza
Right?
for her kids.
It's legit.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
stuff that you hear like TJ and Cub and those guys eating. Like, I mean, I haven't been put on that regimen. I had some buffalo meat, which was like new to me. And, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's sure different from masala, man. I'll tell you that. But
That's right. That's right.
but it was
Leaner,
cool.
that's
man.
for sure.
Yeah, it was cool. Just doing things like that, and like they're there for you. You know what I mean? Like a lot of gyms that I've been to, like they're there for you at a price.
Right.
You want this, you got to pay this. You want this, I need that. You know, and then at the training lab, they're just there. They're working on paperwork. They're getting everything set up with the gym. They're working like with the Marines. Like they're getting like things set up, like big things for our gym. And so, you know, you just pop in the office, say, "Hey, Coach Cal, can I ask for some advice?" And then he'll give you like an hour talk of like just
Whoa.
deep science for like 3 tips, man.
Wow.
It's cool. It's interesting
Yeah.
because like he gets really detailed and
That's pretty cool.
he gets really detailed, and so I'll just like be listening, and I was like, "So I can't have pizza, huh?" At the end of it, I was like, "So no pizza."
This
Huh?
guy.
Yeah, so but it's cool, man.
Until
He-
after the fight.
yeah, after the fight,
Right.
That is funny.
after weigh-ins, I had like bacon and.
That's
and
what I want to know. What happens after weigh-ins? What do you
Oh
do?
man, we had like we went to Jenny's Kitchen out in Santa Fe Springs. So shout out to Jenny's Country Kitchen.
Right.
Yeah, it's a staple out there in the Whittier area. And I remember like I got eggs, pancakes, bacon, some
I could do it all
sausage.
day.
Dude, I mean, before that, my diet was pretty much just like eggs and spinach with like some low-fat cheese.
Sure.
For like 2 weeks, man, I was eating that, just trying to get down in weight. And so having that was like awesome. And then my buddy, like I've treated him because, you know, he's in my corner. This guy ordered like onion rings, so I had onion rings
hell
too.
yeah.
I had some onion
Oh
rings.
man, you got down.
Yeah, man. Like I got, and then he even had like I can't remember what kind. I think he had like some kind of pudding or some shit
Oh,
after,
man.
man. Or a cinnamon bun. That's what he had
Right.
after, man. And so
The homie.
yeah,
it may
my
be
boy
good, but I know
Jonathan.
after that, like within an hour, you have choro after that because you know
Oh,
healthy,
yeah.
and then an hour later,
Well, plus I did a saltwater cleanse, so that was key in the weight cut too. I did a saltwater cleanse, and pretty much it's water with pink Himalayan salt
Yeah.
and lime, and I know like a lot of people do that, and so like that will drain everything out of you.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Dude, I was on the toilet for like an hour, dude, and I thought I was gonna die. I thought my guts were gonna come out, man.
Take
Like,
care of business.
yeah, that'll help you lose some weight, man. So
There you go, Joe. I want
that's
to buy
one
you some
tip.
salt.
That's one tip
I'm
right
about
there.
to write that down because I've been doing the keto for a minute. I cheated over the weekend with my birthday weekend, so I know I've gained a lot of weight by doing that. But keto's been working me so far.
You ever had like pepino with like lemon and
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
salt?
Everything.
Love that.
The water tastes kind of like that if you don't put too much pink Himalayan
And believe it or
salt.
not, for keto, they have
Uh-huh.
nopale made tortillas that's made out of nopales.
Oh, okay.
And it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
Cactus, right?
Yeah, nopale. Yeah, the cactus, and it's made out. They make them out of tortillas now.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It's healthy for you too.
That's dope.
Keto.
Right on.
But anyway, we're about that time, folks. So where
It
can
is
they
that
catch you
time.
on your social medias?
Yes, sir. You can catch me on Instagram at suavecito.mma. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. I have a Twitter, but I'm never on it. Like, I haven't posted anything. So
That's
catch
cool.
me on Instagram. I'll follow you back. You know, chop it up. Hit me up with anything.
Awesome. I
Are there
will.
any underscores or anything?
Just a dot, like a dot. It's suavecito.mma. I think,
you go.
yeah, there's another Suavecito out there. He's a good fighter, supposedly. So I-
Supposedly.
no, well, from
Is
what
it
I heard,
supposedly?
I know Ray managed him too, and I was like, what the hell, Ray? You know what I mean? But
Oh.
yeah.
And,
big ups to that guy, man.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he's a beast.
Absolutely. And we got to be remiss not to talk about Ray Lopez. Ray Lopez.
Yeah, Ray
Right?
Lopez. Rest in
Amazing
peace,
dude.
Ray.
Yeah.
Affected the whole community. I didn't want to take away from you because you were so directly involved with him, but the entire community misses Ray.
Yeah, I remember like I was talking to some of the guys from Camo, and
Yeah.
they were like, you know, he's a good guy, and even with like
Helped a
Tony,
lot of people.
he did, man, and that
One of the greatest. Yeah.
he just had a big heart, man, and,
Sure.
and that's what you need in this community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we're putting our lives on the line, and you need to be around people that are interested in you. You know, have the
That's
best
a
interest in
fact.
you. And so, you know, thank you, Ray, and I know you're watching over me at my last fight, man, and
That's
I
right,
hope
man.
as I continue to go out here, you're proud of me. Thank
Right.
you.
It's small circles. We are all a part of that same Southern California MMA family, man.
Yeah,
We're all
absolutely.
running in those same circles. So it's a good story. I really liked having you here. People
Thank you.
follow Gabriel. Suavecito.mma. A man coming up.
Yeah, appreciate it,
And where
guys.
can people find you, Woods?
According to Woods,
Everywhere.
I'm your local resident dumbass, so check that out.
Whoa.
Yeah, so according to Woods on all the socials, Facebook, the gram of instant gratification, and the Twitterverse. Yeah.
You're on that
Yeah.
too. I got to learn about that one. See, I don't know. Just check me out, Dondo the Gym Crasher at Instagram, John Dondo on
Facebook,
the
the Book of
Facebook
Faces.
that these guys run for me because I haven't learned yet.
And,
That's it for me.
You can catch me on Joey the Bull Santana or Joey the Bull Hinojosa, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. No grinder.
Not grinder.
Don't
Is that what he said?
Don't lie. Don't
Because
lie.
I'm the bull, doesn't mean I'm freaking grinder.
What's your stripper name? Teresa con
no,
huevos?
no, I said if I became a, no, this is no bullshit. I said if I
Oyster.
I said if I ever became a drag queen, my name will be Teresa con huevos.
That's it.
You know, it's funny. My mom's name is Teresa.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
Nah,
Sorry,
it's
bro.
cool. Nah, like whenever she introduces herself to people, she'll say, "My name's Teresa," or "Not Teresa," like something like that, man. So she's cheesy. That's
Got
funny.
it.
Yeah, well,
that
hey-
would be my nickname with my stage name, Teresa con huevos.
Nice.
No disrespect, bro.
It's all good. It's all good. Thank you guys for having me, man.
Good
Appreciate
show, brother.
it. Thank
Really
you.
good story. Thank you so much. Such a pleasure, man.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Yep, I'm looking forward to watching you. Looking forward to watching that transition. This man going to pro.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Really.
That was great. So thank you guys for joining us each and every Tuesday at the 8 o'clock hour, somewhere in between. We're the
right.
Gym Crashers.
Check
Like
us.
on Facebook, YouTube, and Robert's got an Instagram, so Free Admission Media.
Free
There's
Admission
that.
Media all day
And,
long.
We'll catch you next week right here. We are the Gym Crashers.
And you can catch me next hour,
Oh yeah,
the
Roman.
Royal Ramble,
Royal
with
Ramble.
me, Joey the Bull, as your sexy ring announcer.
Nice.
See you later.
Latest.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, brother.
Dude, that was
It's a
awesome.
long